You're listening to the BBC World Service. I'm Claire Balderson with NewsHour. Religious faith has been much discussed during the Republican primary elections in the United States. Most of the candidates talk about it, some more than others. And as Mitt Romney's seen his frontrunner status wax and wane, there's been a lot of speculation that he's not popular with evangelical Christians in the party because he's a Mormon. The influential evangelist Franklin Graham, son of the Reverend Billy Graham, certainly has his doubts, as he told MSNBC this week.
I like him.
Is he a Christian?
He's a Mormon.
But he's said that he's part of the Judeo-Christian faith. Do you take him as a real?
No, but most Christians would not recognize Mormonism as part of the Christian faith.
So he is not a Christian?
I'm just saying most Christians would not recognize Mormonism. Now, of course, they believe in Jesus Christ, but they have a lot of other things that they believe in, too, that we don't accept theologically. But he would be a good president if he were the nomination, because I think the man has got the ability. He's got the strength business-wise, political-wise. He's a sharp guy.
Franklin Graham, who also has doubts about President Obama, who was baptized as an adult in the Trinity United Church of Christ. For Franklin Graham, Mr. Obama's profession of faith compares unfavourably with another of the leading Republican candidates for the presidency, Rick Santorum, who's a devout Catholic.
I asked President Obama how he came to faith in Christ, and he said, I don't go to church.
Have you had that conversation with Rick Santorum?
I've talked to Rick Santorum, yes.
And he was just more persuasive to you on the depth of his sincerity on this question?
Well, I think so. But you have to look at what a person does with his life. Anyone can say he's a Christian, but you look at, do they live, where do they go and act? Listen, Obama is a nice man. I've met him on several occasions.
You think he behaves in an unchristian way?
No, he is a nice man. And his wife is a class act, and their kids are class. You can't help but like them. So I have no idea what he really believes, and I really don't have any idea other than what Rick Santorum stands for, or what he really believes. But I just feel in my heart, okay? I'm telling you, as you're asking my opinion, I'm just giving you my opinion. I think Rick Santorum is a fine man.
And as for Newt Gingrich, also running for the Republican nomination for the presidency, Mr. Graham acknowledged his 3 marriages, but said, nevertheless, Mr. Gingrich was a good Christian. But who is he to decide the authenticity or otherwise of anyone's faith? Well, joining us now are Tim King of the Sojourners, a Washington-based Christian group focusing on social justice, and Bryan Fischer, who's with the American Family Association in Mississippi. Bryan, I'd like to start with you. Do you think it's right that Franklin Graham is making these sort of pronouncements on somebody's faith, just really on his own opinion?
Oh, absolutely. We believe that religious values are the most deeply held convictions that an individual has, and I think we have every right to understand as much as we can about the religious convictions that animate those that want to run for the highest office in the land. This is absolutely an appropriate line of questioning.
But he's talking about his political opinions, really, isn't he? He's not talking about faith. He's talking about who he favors politically.
Yeah, but where do our political convictions come from? They arise out of our most deeply held convictions. The reality is that law is a function of culture. Culture, in turn, is shaped by religion. The religious values that a culture embraces, they determine the kind of culture you get. They determine the kind of laws that are enacted. So it's critically important that we understand what a man's religious convictions are, because they're the most deeply held convictions he has, and they ultimately are going to shape his public policy.
So, Tim King, that sounds then as if Mr. Graham's giving everyone a helping hand, sorting out who is deeply religious, who isn't.
See, I'm fine with people talking about their religious beliefs in public and even expressing their values. I think what everyone has got so upset about with this is the hypocrisy. When Graham was asked about the president's faith, he said he didn't know. But when he was asked about Santorum and Gingrich, he could answer with certainty what he thought was in their hearts and whether or not they were Christians. So what the standard was for Democrats, well, maybe you're a Christian, maybe not, but if you're a Republican, then yes. So what everyone out here heard was, if you want to be a Christian, you need to look like me, you need to talk like me, and most important, you need to vote like me.
And Bryan Fischer, shouldn't it all be based on how a person lives their life, what their values are, as opposed to what they say about their religion? I mean, standing up over and over again and saying, I'm a good Christian, doesn't mean anything, does it?
Oh, absolutely. And that's why we have to look at a candidate's policy positions, Because, again, those ultimately are going to be a reflection of his religious convictions. And that's the problem that most evangelicals have with both Barack Obama and with Mitt Romney. You know, my problem with Mitt Romney, frankly, is that he has not been Mormon enough. You know, the Mormon Church historically has stood strong for the sanctity of life, the sanctity of marriage. Mitt Romney has not. He ran as a pro-abortion candidate in 2002. He imposed same-sex marriage on Massachusetts and the country by executive fiat in 2004. Barack Obama's policy positions simply do not line up with the gospel of Jesus Christ, with the teaching of Christ, with the teaching of the apostles of Christ. President Obama supported infanticide as a state senator in Illinois. This is flatly contrary to the position of the scriptures on the sanctity of life. President Obama is all over the map on the homosexual agenda, and yet clearly, according to the scriptures, this is behavior that no rational society ought to promote, endorse, legalize, or sanction.
I'm going to stop you there. I don't want to get into a big argument about President Obama's opinions. I don't think he does actually back infanticide or ever did. It is one way of describing a pro-choice agenda, I know. Tim King, do you want to respond to that?
Here's what Bryan's doing. He is taking Christianity, a faith 2,000 years old, and he's turning it into a tool for a political party. Franklin Graham is stepping on his father's legacy. His father ended up getting very close to Richard Nixon, and afterwards he said that was a mistake. And I really wish that Bryan Fischer and other folks like Franklin Graham would learn from Billy Graham, and to see that using Jesus and using Christian faith as a political tool is a bad idea, not just for politics, but for faith. I'm a young evangelical. I'm 27. When I was born, evangelicals outnumbered people who are non-religious in this country, young people, at a ratio of 2 to 1. Today, the non-religious young people outnumber the evangelicals. And sociologists, when they look at those numbers, the biggest thing that they see in that trend was the rise of the religious right.
So then,
it's the hypocrisy.
But then, Tim King, you have to wonder how influential comments like Franklin Graham's are. I mean, no one has to listen to him.
But there are people out there who are listening to them. This is a part of a consistent campaign for a political party to try to discredit other people by calling into question their faith. And it is working out there, but it's only working for an older demographic. I can tell you that there are younger Christians out there who aren't taking it. They aren't listening. They're ignoring it. But what concerns me is that even more of them are just deciding to give up on faith altogether. It's a good political move, and they're sacrificing the faith of a generation to try to pull it off.
And Bryan Fischer, that could be because it's another example, what we're hearing, of religion being so deeply entwined with politics in a way that the founding fathers of the United States certainly never intended, and that an awful lot of people find very uncomfortable.
Oh, no, you're absolutely wrong about that, Claire. The Declaration of Independence says that our rights come to us from the Creator. The United States is the only nation in the world that was absolutely founded on a profoundly religious concept that man is a created being,
but not to have religion
being,
in
and
politics.
That there is a creator, and that creator is the source of every single one of our human and civil rights. That's a religious concept. That's the concept on which the United States was founded.
Okay, Bryan Fischer, Tim King, thank you.